His name is Ben Shapiro. I would imagine you know who Ben Shapiro is. But he said something so unbelievably wise. So unbelievable. I was very impressed. And he says it very soft-spoken. I said Ben Shapiro is an angry guy who screams the whole day. So when I showed them the clips, they said, Taka usually screams. What did Ben Shapiro say?
Guilt is generally with regard to others, and shame is with regard to yourself before God. And what religion really is about is shifting the source of your feelings of inadequacy from what everybody else thinks of you to your inadequacy before God, which is really something else. That's really shame. And so we have a culture that's very much focused on guilt, meaning I, as a member of a group, should feel inadequate before members of this other group, which doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense unless you particularly have sinned against a member of this other group. But what religion says is something else. It says that you should feel shame because you've fallen short of God. And that shame is something that can drive you to individual action. I think our society is moving back toward almost a pagan sense of guilt rather than the internalized sense of shame, which is what biblical religion is really rooted in, right? It takes all of the sins that you commit against your fellow creature, and it says that's not a sin against your fellow creature predominantly. It's a sin against them, but it's also a sin against God.
He said there's guilt and shame. What's the difference between guilt and shame? Guilt means I'm guilty because of my friends, because of my community. In my community, I did something which makes me feel guilty. Shame means I'm ashamed from the Eibishter. And he says the whole union of Yiddishkeit, and he doesn't use the word Yiddishkeit, he uses the word das, is to say that when I do an Aveda, even if it's against another person, I'm not just guilty, I'm ashamed. I didn't just sin against man, I sinned against God. I thought it was very wise. I thought it was beautiful. He sits with a yarmulke, kol hakavod.